We go? Okay. Hey, the first thing that we're going to do today is define Mr. Karli. I am Mr. Karli. The reason I'm called Mr. Karli instead of just Chris or Thomas or some other nickname of which I've had many is that I'm a teacher. I have taught in Texas and now I am teaching in Sweden. My students this year are year 7s. Last year I taught year 8s. In the US, I taught mostly high school. In the US, I taught in some of the poorest places in Texas. Some of the greatest economic disparity between the kids. Places that I'm not going to use their names. But they were very, very different than my teaching here in Sweden. I have learned a lot of things by direct knowledge because I have spent a lot of time in the poorest places. Before I was a teacher, I worked in a prison for a short time and I worked in hotels for a long time. So my exposure to Americans is from both very, very distinct and disparate areas of the spectrum. Some people were very, very poor. That was most of my students. Some people were very, very rich and even famous. That was in my hotels. The hotels I worked at were in College Station, Texas, where there were a lot of football games and the George Bush Presidential Library, the earlier George Bush. So a lot of conservative people, even famous conservative people, ended up there, and also a lot of people who are interested in football. So I met a lot of really interesting people. When I was younger, I was a bit of a criminal. I was involved in some inappropriate things, which made me an odd choice for a teacher. Some people believe that these actually make me much better at being a teacher because I can deal with and understand children who have that bent and have that learning. When I was a teenager, there was a poster that said, "Be the teacher that you needed." I did not have the teacher that I needed, so I did a lot of really stupid, really bad things. But hopefully I can be that teacher for others. I am 40 years old. I am married. I am from Texas. I am currently in Sweden. I am a huge nerd. I'm heavily involved in a lot of very, very nerdy pursuits. I love cartoons and movies and video games, and I like that those are things that I can use to teach. I have a very eclectic teaching style. I taught math last year and I teach English this year. I've spent a little time teaching theater, but for the most part it's been math and English. And I have recently realized some things about me and about America that other people have found fascinating and interesting, and that I am still pursuing. So these thoughts are not entirely complete, but I have realized them, and people seemed interested. So here we are. Thank you.